Ben and Ray, how are you keeping today?
Good.
Doing well, man.
Congratulations on the movie. You must be so relieved that after months and months and months, you're finally able to talk about it, because I can only imagine how many people must have tried to get some secrets out of you, or how difficult it must have been to not let something slip for the last few months.
Yeah, I mean, my friends, some of them want to know really badly, like, oh, is this going to happen? I saw the trailer, what's going to happen with that? But other friends are just like, I don't want to know anything. Don't you even blink a clue at me, like that kind of thing. But it's across the board. But people love this stuff so much. Like I was saying to Ben, I was like, look, what I love is people's theories about what's going to happen based off of what they see, posters or trailers or whatever.
Yeah.
They come up with some pretty good and sometimes outlandish things.
Especially for you, Ben, because it's Batman and everyone is so invested in like the future of that character. Like, did you find any one specific person was like, tell me?
No, I was mostly just paranoid that something was going to get out and I was going to get blamed. So I was just like, I don't tell anybody. Don't tell me anything. I don't even want to know what happens with your character.
I'm not going to read this script.
Because every little thing shows up on the internet as like a piece of news, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And some of it's so far-fetched, but people just like are looking for stuff around these movies, and so you wind up, if the truth doesn't get out, it's like the rumors do.
Well, the first time we heard about Justice League was nearly 10 years ago, and there's been so many permutations of it, and now it's finally here, and the scale of it is it's epic. It's the only word you can use to describe it. On your first day, could you feel the sense of epicness when you were filming it, and how long did it take before it was just like another day at the office?
For me, it was really felt different than any other movie I'd done. It felt bigger. Just seeing the other actors, in their wardrobe and seeing the size of the sets, and you definitely had a sense of being smaller than the larger story.
Yeah, you feel like you're donning the mantle, but you're donning it, until the next person comes along in that way. And particularly with Zach, because like anytime there was anything that was ready, he'd want to show everybody. He's like, hey, check this out. This is cool. Look what I drew here. Look what we're going to add this. We're going to do this. We're going to change that. It's great. And just like his level of excitement got you even more excited, and it was just a really special experience.
And especially for you, because this is your first major film role. Like, do you feel you've been tossed in at the deep end? And if you come back for like a smaller indie film, you'd be like, where are the explosions?
Where's the green screen? Where's my mocap suit? I'm really fortunate that this is my first exposure to the film world in this way. I don't think there's anything bigger one could do. I think from this point forward, it'd have to be a lateral move. But the idea is that, this is something that I love so much, even as a kid growing up. I feel like, the wheel has come full circle in a big way. I've got great castmates and great crew people who are able to like help guide me through the process. I'm like a kid I'm a kid on his first day of school. Like, well, what does that do? What does that do? Why are they spinning those shiny balls? Like, what is that camera thing doing there? Like, it was a great learning experience, man.
I understand you played a very, very famous boxer on Broadway.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali, off-Broadway though.
Off-Broadway,
yeah,
beg your pardon.
that's all right.
I understand you're very, very involved in the MMA. Mm-hmm. How do you feel
Not as a fighter.
Not as a fighter, no.
Don't want to get anybody confused.
It's all outside the ring.
Don't try to fight me. I don't want to fight.
Well, in light of
investor in it. Yeah.
in light of the recent Mayweather-McGregor fight, how do you feel Ali would stand up today against some of the MMA fighters?
Oh, I mean, if it were in this place, in this time, same training, same personality, I mean, he'd rise to the top, for sure. I think there's something very special about his spirit. Mm-hmm. The style is much different today than it was back then, but if he were born today in the same style, same format, I mean, there'd be no stopping him.
Yeah, I'm a big Conor McGregor fan. I think, he acquitted himself really well, but like, boxers are so specialized in what they do and the way that they fight that and Ali was the greatest, naturally ever. So you have to think, while there might be some guys who could give him, a pretty good fight, that he would still be the best.
And final question, out of all of the history of comic book villains, who is your favorite?
History of comic book villains ever. Oof.
I mean, Joker's the most classic villain, probably. My son likes to play in Justice League too.
Yeah.
So we go through. He changes favorite villains all the time. He likes Gorilla Grodd now, but I don't know.
My buddy plays as Grodd.
Oh yeah, really?
Yeah. I trash him though with Bane. Bane for me.
Bane.
Just style-wise. There's something about his backstory that was like always really interesting. He was like on par with Batman as far as like tactical intellect, and that was something I've always thought was really cool.
Fantastic. Ben, Ray, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Shall we?